Woodbury still continues to be, in my opinion, one of the best cities for home ownership.
Hi, I'm Wade Hanson. I've been selling luxury real estate in Minnesota and Wisconsin for over 23 years. My entire career has been spent protecting my clients from misinformation and unethical practices by those not looking out for their best interests. This podcast will give you the raw truth about everything real estate so you can make solid, informed decisions about the biggest investment of your lifetime. This is the Raw Real Estate Podcast.
So I've talked a little bit in the past about Woodbury in general and some of the winners and losers in Woodbury. I want to talk a little bit about some of the more specific neighborhoods that have maybe won in the past 2 or 3 years, and some of those that have maybe struggled the past 2 or 3 years. Year in and year out, for whatever reason, Stone Mill Farms continues to be probably at the top of the list. And I always gauge this by relocation buyers that I work with, right? They'll do a lot of research in the community, online typically before they get here. It's a neighborhood that seems to have been built around that community feel and getting people out there and being neighborly again. Right? So you've got the community pools, you've got a community hockey rink, you've got a community center, there's walking trails, there's basketball courts, there's tennis courts, there's all of the different parks in the community. And I think they love that aspect of it when they're moving here from another state because it's an opportunity for them to meet other families in the community. So Stone Mill Farms also has a variety of housing options. We've got everything from townhomes that are selling for $300,000-$400,000 to really unique upper bracket luxury homes selling for $1.2 million. So there's a nice variety of homes in Stone Mill Farms that I think makes it very attractive to the consumer. So Stone Mill Farms in 2022, we just didn't see a lot of movement. I think, my opinion anyway, I think a lot of people kind of knew what they had in Stone Mill Farms and wanted to stay there because of the pandemic. They had these spaces outdoors that weren't necessarily on their property, but they could walk to and enjoy those spaces with their families and see other families. So Stone Mill Farms didn't see a lot of turnover in 2022. I don't know how that will change in 23, but I know that continues to be one of the top neighborhoods and one of the most high demand neighborhoods in Woodbury year in and year out. Wedgewood. Now, Wedgewood consists of a variety of Wedgewoods. There's Wedgewood Valley, Wedgewood Heights, Wedgewood Shores, Wedgewood Park, all have different home values, and we're all built anywhere from, I would say, mid-1980s to around 2000, 2001 was probably the most recent home built. And going back to Stone Mill Farms, a lot of the families I see move out of Stone Mill Farms actually move into the Wedgewood Heights or on Prestwood Golf Course, which is in Wedgewood Valley. I think they like the fact that as their kids get older and they're maybe not using some of those amenities and running around with other kids in the neighborhood, they now have a little bit more elbow room, a little bit more mature trees, mature landscaping, bigger homes, bigger lots. And they're looking at golf course, and they're using the golf course, they're using the restaurant, they're using the facilities on the golf course. That becomes a really popular trend, I think, with families that have maybe grown out of a neighborhood like Stone Mill Farm. So Wedgewood and the values in Wedgewood remain high, and it remains a very high demand neighborhood, I think specifically because of the golf course. Third on my list is Dancing Waters. So Dancing Waters is really kind of a brother or a sister to Stone Mill Farms. Dancing Waters is a little bit newer in some areas than Stone Mill Farms. The biggest difference between Dancing Waters and Stone Mill Farms is the high school. Dancing Waters is Woodbury High School. Stone Mill Farms is Eastridge High School. I'm not going to get into an argument about which one is better. I will just tell you that some want one, others want the other. And that's seems to be the biggest deciding factor between purchasing in Dancing Waters or Stone Mill Farms. Dancing Waters also has your community spaces, the pool, the clubhouse, the walking trails, and they're really right next to each other. So Dancing Waters is in really, really high demand still. And Dancing Waters has a nice variety as well. They've got a villa product, which is really popular, built by Pratt Homes. That's a standalone townhome where I'm seeing a lot of the 55 and older community move into. They've got entry-level townhomes all the way up to custom-built $1.2 million homes overlooking a small pond, small lake area. So there's a nice variety in Dancing Waters, and I see families stay in Dancing Waters for a long time when they purchase, so we don't see a ton of turnover in Dancing Waters either. Most of the homes that I have sold in Dancing Waters in 2022 were homes that these folks are now empty nesters, and they're downsizing or moving out of the area. So I don't see a lot of families transition out of the Stone Mill Farms and the Dancing Waters very often. So those are probably my top 3 neighborhoods that I see for demand right now. That would be Stone Mill Farms, Wedgewood, and Dancing Waters. You can put them in any order you feel, but I know for whatever reason Stone Mill Farms always is at the top of the list. Some of the other close competitors, 21 Oaks, that's a newer community, kind of a small Dancing Waters or Stone Mill Farms. They've got a smaller pool, smaller community center, smaller HOA dues. 21 Oaks is a newer community built. Some of the homes are just constructed within the last year, so they're built anywhere from, I think, 2016 or 17 on up to 2022. And mostly single-family homes. There's a small street of villa product, the Pratt Villa product there too. Those homes are selling anywhere from $600,000 to $800,000. The villa homes, the single-family homes are anywhere from $600,000 on up to $1.3 million. So very small community, not a lot of homes in that community, but located in the newer part of Woodbury. Now, some of the other competitors that I'm seeing. Powers Lake, that seems to be a popular area if you're on the lake. People really wait for homes to pop up on Powers Lake. And there's, maybe 20 homes that are specifically on the lake. And those homes are going to start at $750,000 and probably go up to $1.2 million, $1.3 million. So it's more of a luxury product. I don't see a ton of those turnover, but that has become a really popular place to live because of the demand to see waterfront since COVID. So 21 Oaks, Powers Lake, they're kind of, in my top 5 as well. Now, Woodbury's been interesting the last 5 years. The new construction dynamic, I think we're number 2 in the metro for permits pulled. I believe number 1 was Lakeville, if I remember right, but I think we're number 2. So we're seeing a ton of new construction happen in Woodbury. And I gotta say, I'm not sure I agree that it was very well thought out. It almost seemed like there just suddenly was this demand for new construction, and they just threw up a bunch of homes just to meet that demand. Backing up to the communities like Stone Mill Farms, Dancing Waters, Wedgewood, they were very well thought out communities. They knew what they wanted to create for the homeowner. Some of these newer communities, I just don't know that they were thought out that way. They'd throw 3 or 4 builders into this community, and they'd build homes where you'd have a $1 million home right next to a $500,000 home just down the street from a townhome that was worth $300,000. So there just wasn't a lot of consistency, in my opinion, in some of these neighborhoods. But there was demand, and those homes sold quickly, and the buyers and the consumers seemed to want that new construction product. Now that has tapered off substantially as we get into 2023. The new construction product has probably, in my opinion, taken the hardest hit. A lot of that is, I think, just pricing, and I don't think a lot of these home builders want to see their prices come down because they want to maintain the values of the other homes that they have built or that are under construction right now. So some of these new construction homes are actually turning into rentals. They've converted them into more of a corporate rental situation. Now, one of the unique things about, and one of the kind of backing up to my comment about I don't think they were very well thought out, there's not a lot of amenities to support these new neighborhoods. So they built in areas that would be really close to the border of Cottage Grove, kind of southeast Woodbury, I guess, is kind of the hotbed off of maybe Dale and Woodbury Drive. And there just aren't the grocery stores, the restaurants, the gas stations. There aren't amenities out there to support that new construction. So I'm not sure that our leadership really thought it through when they built these communities. I have since heard that they're now going to be starting to add some of these amenities in some of those areas. I've heard of a grocery store hub going out in those areas with a gas station and your coffee shops and so on and so forth. But I think they got behind the curve on that and missed that opportunity. So I still think if you're a consumer looking to purchase in Woodbury, you're purchasing in one of the greatest cities in the metro. Woodbury, back to the recession of '08, Woodbury, I think, absorbed the blow and the downturn of housing values better than some of the third-tier suburbs like maybe Blaine or Farmington, some of these suburbs that were a little bit further out. We've got healthcare facilities, we've got all of the restaurants, all of the chains, the Lifetime Fitness and a number of fitness and gym options in Woodbury, everything from dentists to orthopedic surgeons. It's all kind of self-contained. And I know raising my kids here, they started with their friends in gymnastics here and went all the way through elementary school and high school with those same friends because it's all here. You're not having to go to other communities to participate in some of those activities. So Woodbury still continues to be, in my opinion, one of the best cities for home ownership and to raise a family. And there's a number of school options here, anywhere from private school on down to 2 really good high schools, public high schools, and the Math and Science Academy as well. I think it's the #1 high school option in the metro right now. So, and we're not far from a lot of other private school options in your St. Thomas's and your Cretons and your Hill Murrays. So, if you're thinking of buying or selling, Woodbury still continues to be a great option.